All right. So first of all, Chara, my mod who sent this to me, I like first of all, it's this video is made by Decade, and Decade's nothing if not a little hyperbolic. So let's first take that in first of all before we get started. But let's see. All right. Let's see.
The new Rush Duel release is happening in Duelinks, and Konami calls it the second release of Duelinks after 6 years since its initial release. People are not happy. We have comments like, no currency, yeah, it's over, I'm not going to spend my precious gems on a side mode. They're saying no speed duel box, devastated. No new speed duel content actually shafted us. The real Duel Links players should boycott the Rush stuff from a monetary standpoint and strictly farm them for gems for speed duel stuff indefinitely until we see a shift back into the direction of speed duels as the primary. And we even...
So, I mean, first of all, they're caught up now, aren't they? Like we've caught up to, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, we had they even like made a world off of like the Yu like that like fan service movie they put out a while ago. Like, they have brains on there now. Like, everything's up to date. Like, what new content is there? Also, there really wasn't a good way for Rush Duels to, like, be implemented into the West as, like, a physical product. Like, of course they'd probably end up putting it in Duel Links. Like, I don't know. We thought for a long time, I don't know. It's just... I don't know. I'm gonna let DK go.
Have an interview with the producer of the game stating, for a long time we thought about making 2 separate games, but if you create a new game, you have to recruit a lot of new duelists. Sevens, which is the new anime that Rush Duel is based off of, is not as famous as an animated series outside of Japan. Therefore, it would have been difficult to engage a new audience. Now, we also have... I don't want to spend gems on Rush Duel. Konami, deal with it. We also have this in Rush Duel, though, so maybe the one thing to not complain about. And
yeah, they did make Don Kyoto, who was, you know, an octogenarian, you know, healer lady in the TCG. They turned her into a you know, a mommy waifu, which is weird. Regardless, at the end of the day, you know, my mod said that like people are pissed at Rush Duels. Like, they're not pissed at Rush Duels existing. They're pissed that it's got that it's not new speed duel content. Which, like, well, let's be frank. Like, Konami kind of fucking neglects Yu-Gi-Oh! As a franchise by itself. God forbid, like, look at what they did to, like, speed duel in paper. They made some great products for the initial, like, speed duel, like, in paper in the West, but, like, let's call a spade here. Like, Konami does not really give a shit about alternate formats. They have paid some lip service to, like, alternate formats, and they have, like, allowed a couple Edison formats at official YCSs. But broadly speaking, it's like Konami doesn't really give a shit about Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, it feels like they just have a love, like, just by the way that they handle stuff, it's just not great. And we know this as Yu-Gi-Oh! Players. Like, we feel like shafted by this company all the time. It's a miracle they haven't made up a Yu-Gi-Oh! Pachinko machine yet.
if you want to actually talk about Rush Duel or Doom post about Rush Duel, whatever you want, Reddit r Rush Duel is going to be the subreddit where you could post stuff to, or you know, maybe the other subreddit too. Why not? I don't know if this is going to even be popular or even take off. You tell me. But this is the place if you want to talk about it. Now, let's hop into why people.
So I want to be clear. I really do like Rush Duel, and I'm actually planning on doing a stream either tomorrow or Thursday at time of recording to go and have some fun with it. But like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Just real talk for a second. I genuinely feel like Rush Duels is a lot of fun. I to quote MBT Yu-Gi-Oh here, like it kind of takes everything that's fun about like Yu-Gi-Oh, like fast play, lots of monsters, things of that, like summoning a lot of shit, drawing a lot of cards, but also having a game that lasts longer than 3 turns. I don't know. And it's and like to your point, Bulla, like if you want to play Yu-Gi-Oh, you can't play anything else because that in that game there's too much shit to read. Not necessarily. Like the thing about here's the cool thing. Here's like what's good about Yu-Gi-Oh is that everything you need to know about a card and what it does is said explicitly. Like there's very little problem solving card text in the sense of like piercing battle damage. What does that mean? Piercing battle damage is when you attack an opponent's defense position monster and you deal damage to their life points based off of the difference between your monster's attack and their defense. Like that used to be said explicitly in every single card until they just said piercing battle damage. And or GY means graveyard. There's really not much outside of that. What's good about Yu-Gi-Oh compared to like something like Magic or Pokemon is on Magic cards, and especially on Pokemon cards, a lot of the things that, you know, it but more so on Magic cards than like on Pokemon. And my bad, let me reverse those. You know, trample, flying, stampede, all of these different words. What do they mean? What do they do? And they add more of these all the time. And and if you don't know what they mean, you know, you're not able to play the game. But Yu-Gi-Oh, you can hand someone a deck, and if they sit there and read it and like read the cards, they can figure it out while only asking like basic questions about like the game. Like if you hand them a manual on like how the game's structured and the cards, people can figure it out. It'll take time, but like you don't need to like have to constantly be looking up what does tampo mean, what is it. Now, granted, once you're an active going out and out player, like knowing like Magic is a lot easier to comprehend because there's less card text, but you know Yu-Gi-Oh, like also like there's less ruling, there can be less rulings issues because everything is explicitly defined.
Are pissed even though you got a nice little
but why are people, so yes, Decade, why are people pissed at Yu-Gi-Oh Rush Duels?
taste of it? Let's see. We have first look, Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's World, a few hours before the release. What did they show us? A bunch of these cool looking cards here. And in case you didn't know this, Rush Duel is all about drawing 5 cards per turn. You draw until you have 5 cards in your hand. You have unlimited normal summons, and there's no Chain Link 2. You cannot Chain Link 2. There's no quick play spells. There are traps, and from what I know about the traps is they only activate on an opponent's summon in response to their attack, or if a spell resolves. It can't chain to a spell, though. So some comments from this maybe were not so bad. Oh, well.
So I want to be clear that, like, I'm not saying that there can't ever be, it's not that there's never going to be any quick effects, and the current traps that are in the game, like, are, like, every effect in the game has something that is stated explicitly as a requirement, and then an effect. It is explicit and much less ambiguous compared to the TCG. Yu-Gi-Oh is a mobile game too. Yes, Yu-Gi-Oh has Master Duel, which is its own format, and it's like the normal five lanes. You know, main phase 2, and then you have like Yu-Gi-Oh, like how you remember it as like in school. And now you have Speed Duel, which is a more condensed, more condensed, lower ceiling game with that has, you can only have 30 cards max per deck, minimum 20. You have 4,000 life points, 3 lanes, so 3 monster zones, 3 spell card zones, and there's no main phase 2. So once you hit battle phase, you hit end phase, it's done. It's a much quicker game. It's a lot lower ceiling. It's a lot lower floor, and it's a lot more like, it's a lot less And the duels go by like in like at most 10-15 minutes, as opposed to the 30 or 40 you get in the TCG or with Master Duel. Now, the thing now for people watching who aren't aware, Duel Links, which is the mobile version of Speed Duel, and which is the way most people play Speed Duels, released this new mode called Rush Duel, which is basically same field as you have in Speed Duels, like 3 lanes, but you draw up to 5 cards per turn, summon as many monsters as you can, and it's interesting because of the way the mechanics of the game play is that cards that allow you to discard more cards in your hand are actually preferred, because that allows you to draw during your next draw phase to just draw 5 more cards. So cards that Turtle of Greed or whatever, which when your opponent normal summons a monster, it's a trap card, you flip it, you can draw 2 cards. That actually is worse comparatively. Hey Danny, what's going on? All right, so let's continue watching.
Well, yeah, no new currency. Not happy about that. No Speed Duel box. Devastated, as we were talking about that earlier. But my thoughts on this...
I just want to say also, Duel Links players can shut the fuck up. Y'all get y'all get a box in Duel Links every goddamn month. Every fucking month you get a Duel Links box. I don't want to hear it.
You just gotta...
Like, I want something different.
Box, that's not true. I think that they will still release a Speed Duel box, just not on the same day, maybe not even the same week. And if they do alternate the card releases, that would be a huge problem. Imagine in Master Duel, you have to wait 2 months for a new box after every box. And hopefully they do not do that with Rush Duel. Let's see what else we got here.
Oh, chill, Bulla.
This is the new rewards if you were to download the game for the first time. So you hop in, you
that
download, you return as a new player, or
no.
I should say returning player, or download as a new player. They will be giving you a Speed Duel Dark Magician, which is separate than the Rush Duel Dark Magician. And this is where the problem happened. 10 packs of World of Barian, which was the last pack in August 30th. And now we're at the end of September, and they're not getting a new Speed Duel box as far as we know, because you're getting 10 packs of this one. So even with my copium of there still being a new Speed Duel box coming out even within this week, wouldn't that piss you off if you log in, you get the old box? Anyone who waits a week gets the new box. So that actually, I think I'm going back on that. There's actually not going to be a new Speed Duel box until, I would say, at the end of October. Otherwise, this wouldn't make too much sense, right? There would be people...
Yeah, because you have a new boat to pride on.
Shit. After. You also get 10 packs of the new
Save your gems then
with the 7 Rose Magician. You get a free structure deck. Now, the problem with the structure deck is, if we go to that, here is the full structure deck release that you're getting if you understand any of these cards. By the way, this is the new way to rate the effects. Requirement then effect. Everything's a soft once per turn. The third copy of the structure deck you still have to spend money for. So the first copy you get for free, but there are a lot of cards you get 3 of, so that's quite interesting. Then the second copy you could spend 500 gems, but I believe we're getting you get 1,000 gems just for the release. So you could spend that towards the structure deck to get a second copy. But if you want a third copy of a card that's already limited to 3, how could this be limited to 3?
So first to touch on him talking about the dollar amount, it's Duel Links. It's Duel Links. Like, Duel Links has shit monetization. Like, one of the biggest worries we had when Master Duel was coming out was that Duel Links was going to influence like the way that Master Duel did its monetization. Thank God they didn't, because Master Duel's monetization is so much better than Duel Links is. But of course, that's how it is with all of the structure text, basically. And also, you get the structure decks to get specific cards. There's structure decks and Duel Links that people just don't fucking buy because unless you want to LARP as a specific character. Torna the Windweaver, right? So that card is also in the 7s box. and as a card, it's fine. The only reason I have it is in my deck is because it's I just needed to fill in a card because I needed the level 8 dragon monster that can attack twice. I need 3 of them, but I only had 2. Yeah, it's like whatever. Also, it's like the reason why it's at 3 of is because there are certain cards by the virtue of how Rush Duels works that are very powerful. So, like, for example, right? Let me see if I can pull it up here. Rush Duels, Duel Links Rush Duel, right? So let's go down to Duel Links meta, Duel Links meta, right? Duel Links meta, and then we go down to Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s, and then we get of course Dyer played this. Games, it's almost here, it's not that one. This one. This card. Multi-strike Dragon Drygas. Send the top card from your deck to the graveyard. First of all, you don't have to take anything from your hand, which you already drained relatively to summon this. Second effect. This turn, if this card destroyed a monster by battle, it can make it a second attack during that battle phase. This is a format where people will routinely set 3 pass. And being able to get more than 3 attacks on, like 3 attacks in a turn on board, because like what will happen if you don't have a card like this, or a card like Torn on the Windweaver, or other cards that allow you to change battle position, what's going to end up happening is you're not going to be able to do any damage. You're routinely just going to be beating over them until they are able to draw a specific out. And the reason, another big reason why this is at 3 is because it is a 1600 attack monster. It's a level 6 that can beat over a lot of the 1500 attack beaters by itself, along with having the ability to turn monsters that it can't beat over, like say, Seven's Road Witch, and put it in defense mode and then run it over that way. Within the context of Rush Duel, this is a powerful card, and this is a very powerful card. So that's why they're limited to 3. Because if I could, I would put 3 of these in my deck. I would put 3 of these in my deck. Maybe have the Singleton Legend summon Skull, and I would just wreck shit. So yes, that's why those are there.
Requirements: send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. Change the battle position of 1 monster in your opponent's field. Interesting. So if we were to look at the big boss monster, which is 2 tributes, 1000 defense, and this 1600 attack monster would deal with it. And it's a soft once per turn, so you would not be able to keep on discarding for multiple monsters on the field. And a really weird trap, I think a big criticism of Rush Duel is there's no defensive way to play the game. It's just vomit your hand on the field, attack, attack, attack.
Yeah!
And then you just look at the life points, you end your turn. And your field...
That's Yu-Gi-Oh! That's Yu-Gi-Oh! In today's... Who the fuck likes playing against Labyrinth? Who the fuck likes playing against Eldritch? Who the fuck likes playing Stun? Nobody likes playing Stun or Mystic Mine. They suck. Like, fundamentally at the end of the day, it's like the aggressive playstyles of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is what's popular. It's what people like to play. Like I said, Rush Duel takes the things that people like doing, playing aggressively, drawing a lot of cards, summoning a lot of monsters, being tactical with their effects, while also extending the game to be longer than 2.5 turns. That's the whole purpose of Rush Duels, is to kind of feed on those strong points of Yu-Gi-Oh! That's why like traps like Giant Tortoise of Greed are trash. Look at that.
really does not matter afterward because they're just going to dismantle it, chip off your life points, and then you're going to draw 5 cards next turn. So then a trap like this makes no sense to me.
Exactly.
When your opponent normal summons a monster, draw 2. Well, what do you do in the draw phase in Rush Duel? You draw until you have 5. Well, if you have 0 cards in your hand, you draw 2 on your opponent's turn. That means you're only going to draw 3 cards next turn. So the card, in a way, says draw 2 less cards during your next turn. Now, you can't just set this, draw your 5, then activate it. It's when your opponent normal summons. So how does this make sense? And this is the first trap in the structure deck. A bunch of new players have a literal useless card. Is that just a confliction with the Rush Duel design that inherently maybe the game is flawed? I hope not, because damn, that does not look good. What about another monster spell? Send 2 cards from your hand to the graveyard. Well, you're gonna have 5 every turn.
So Darkness Approaches, by contrast, is actually not a bad spell card to have. It eats 2 cards out of your hand, again, making it so you're able to like do the shit you need to do, and then it basically like gimps an opponent's monster. Now, granted, is 2 cards personally a bit of a steep cost? I think I believe so, but even so, like again, you have a priority on discarding cards. Yeah, I acknowledge what you say. I will be hype about that after I'm done this rant. But yeah, we'll continue.
Change 1 face-up monster on either side of the field to, okay, change it to face-down defense. That could actually be good. And there's a Mystical Space Typhoon type card where it's you discard a card, destroy a back row card. But if the back row cards are things like Giant Tortoise of Greed, we probably do not care to be destroying it. What else is good? Let's see what the comments
so
were.
The other trap that I run...
the rewards. If you know, at least you could log in. What else is interesting is the new UR Dream Pack. That's a brand new thing. So it's going to be potentially full of UR and SRs from boxes. As you know, in Duel Links, there's no crafting system, and you are reliant on your UR and SR Dream tickets to pick whatever you want, as long as it's not from a new box, because there's even a restriction on that, where, you know, in Master Duel, a new card comes out, you can craft it right away. It does not work that way. As far as I know, they did not change it, but we'll see. And I'm going to be streaming Rush Duel on release on twitch.tv/dcade. I'm going to give a fair review. It's not going to be a sponsored review. I'm just going to tell you like it is. Either it's a scam or it's not, or maybe we should give it a chance. We'll see. These are the cards that were used in the video of the TGS, which was the Tokyo Game Show. They dueled with their VTubers, okay. Now, the field is different where there's no extra monster zones.
Well, that makes, I mean, that makes sense. There's no extra monsters
monsters that are going to even be released. No fusion and nothing. And even
well, no, that's actually not true. So, I think Rush Duel does have some extra deck monsters, but I think even like Polymerization is considered like a legend card. So I don't know.
Of Rush Duel, which is called Maximum Summoning, I don't think is going to even be on release. It may not even be for the first year.
I don't think we're getting any Maximum Summoning.
You have 3 cards. This is the left, this is the right, and this would be the middle, this one. And what happens is, I think these are connected. I don't even know which one's connected here. Oh, this one, Doomblaze, Doomblaze, Doomblaze. And if you have all 3 cards in your hand, you have Doomblaze Fiend, middle, left, and right, you could just special summon them onto the field right away. And if you have any monster on the field, they get destroyed. But then the field combines. So they actually need a new animation to showcase the new Maximum Summon. And then they get all these crazy continuous effects and combine as one. That's what I was excited for. And it's not even going to be in the game, it looks like. Maybe they'll be debuting that next year. Who knows?
You know what it probably is? You know what it probably is? Why they don't have it now? They're probably going to use that as like another reason to like get people to like come back to the game. They're not trying to blow their load all, which again, fuck Duel Links, like they suck. But if you like the speed duel format, and now if you like the Rush Duel format like I do, there's really no other way to play it.
And this is where we read earlier, no new speed duel content actually shafted us. You know, I'm still in the wait and see. I'm in the wait and see camp. We gotta wait and see. What else is good? World of Barian, we were talking about that. This is the new structure deck. Now, let's talk about the interview. We are currently preparing to bring a new world to Duel Links on September 28th. And as I previewed for you, it was kind of interesting that they did not want to make a second version of the game, where they did that with Cross Duel and it failed. For a long time, we thought about making 2 separate games, and I don't know.
I'll be honest with you. Like, they're doing with Rush Duels what I personally said they should have done with Cross Duels, and everybody said that I was stupid for singing it. But like, obviously they thought about this shit. Like, listen, fundamentally at the end of the day, Yu-Gi-Oh! Rush Duels, like, is an interesting alternative format. It's like Speed Duels. It's like, you're not able to use these cards in a TCG. It sucks, whatever, fine. But like, fundamentally at the end of the day, like, I'm happy with like, I think like we have Duel Links, and Duel Links, despite all of its issues and failures, which are a many, like, let's be honest, Duel Links has an already platform installed base. Frankly, if I was being perfectly honest, like, they should have like moved Duel Links over to Master Duel, had both formats on one app, and used Master Duel's crafting system and had all, and just like implemented, like, I'm okay with there being like Duel Links becoming like a super app for all multiple platforms. Have a good night, Bulla. I'll catch you later. I know it's like really late where you are. And functionally at the end of the day, it's like, I love like Duel Links. I really like Rush Duels a lot, but like I thought Cross Duels was an interesting concept that really should have been, you know, fleshed out on the Duel Links platform instead of their own app. And like, I don't know, I think part of me is just like semi-resentful that people gave me so much shit for like saying that initially, and I was right, and hence why we have Rush Duels coming to the West in the form of like the Duel Links app. Like, it's where that's just where the sausage is made.
I feel like this should have still been a separate game. I don't.
No, of course not. They tried that shit with Cross Duel. Oh my god! Listen, I understand. Like there is zero reason why it should have been like you literally the developer just said why they didn't, and it's all valid reasoning. Like, here's the problem, like, and it also ultimately does come down to Konami, right? Konami is garbage. Konami is straight trash. Everybody hates Konami. Oh, Konami is bad. We all know this. This is a fact of life. Nobody is disputing this. But like, here's the thing. Because Konami and their shit monetization practices are awful, like, Cross Duel got killed by its shit monetization and lack of support. What it was a novelty that had to support itself as an entire format. Now, if Cross Duels had been integrated into the Duel Links format, or what it should have been integrated into, what the fucking Master Duel monetization stream. Like, honestly, if Rush Duels was put into Master Duel as an alternate mode within Master Duel's monetization formatting, I feel people would be a lot less pissed about it. Because the problem is not, I'm not spending my gems on Rush Duels. The problem is the gem system in Duel Links. The problem is Duel Links. We know this.
I don't think I really get that excited for a 6-year-old game I've never played before getting a new update. That doesn't excite me. But let's say Fire Emblem releases a brand new mobile game, I'd be like, oh, okay, I know that there's been a Fire Emblem game forever, and I decided to not play that, but if you're releasing a brand new one, I'll actually check that out. There's nothing Fire Emblem or Dragon Ball Legends or Budokai, whatever they're called. No update in the world's gonna make me check them out, but a new game would. Is that gonna be the same case for Rush Duel? I think it is. I think there's a situation with Rush Duel where it will just be completely ignored. People will not spend any amount of gems or money on the
Nobody's
packs,
playing
and
Rush
they're
Duels.
continue to just play the speed duel version of Duel Links, which is, as far as I remember, the term speed duel.
Like, that's the thing, though. Like, nobody's playing. Like, nobody knows about Rush Duels outside of people who already play Yu-Gi-Oh! We all... Let me keep it a buck real quick, y'all. Like, I understand the desire of folks to like, oh, what about the new player experience? Like, I get that with Yu-Gi-Oh! In fact, I say that Duel Links is a really good example of that. But like, if they genuinely wanted that, like, nobody knows about Rush Duel. Fuck. Nobody who doesn't currently play Yu-Gi-Oh! Even knows Rush Duels exists. Like, nobody's going to. Like, this is, like, the only people who are going to play Rush Duel are the already established Yu-Gi-Oh! Player base. That's just the reality of it.
Was never really used in Duel Links for 6 years within Duel Links because it was just Duel Links. We all knew it was from Speed Duels, but it was its own version. And on duellinksmeta.com, we are going to have a separate top decks page for Rush Duel. We also have a tier list for Rush Duel, which is going to be the Rush rankings, which will be automated by community tournaments. We do have that for Speed Duel Links also. It's going to be kind of weird having to continually say Speed Duel Links when referring to regular Duel Links, or as Konami referred to it as Classic. I think the word Classic is here. Yeah. Konami doesn't even call it the Speed Duel way. As well, they do here. Although we will focus on Rush Duel. Maybe we're reading too much into this.
Is the rest of him just playing his site? All right, fine. That's fine. It's, I don't know. It's just fundamentally at the end of the day, like, final thoughts real quick. Like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of, like, the Duel Links community, like, is, like, Rush Duel is a really, really fun and interesting way, I feel, to play the game. But, like, we also have to, like, have some level of, like, pragmatism here, right? Like, at the end of the day, like, nobody's playing Rush Duels to, you know, nobody's coming into Duel Links just to play Rush Duel. It's all people who are already a part of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community and are just looking to play something. Like, that's just the reality of things here. Yeah, so, let me just... That's the rant. Sorry it took fucking 32 minutes to do.